Hello and welcome to the Product Growth Lab podcast, hosted by Andrew George and Melissa Pikul. This is the podcast for creative product-based business owners who want to grow their businesses without overwhelm or massive investment. Each episode, we explore actionable strategies, real-life stories, and insights from business owners and experts who know what it takes to succeed, whether you're just starting out or looking to scale. We're here to help you grow your business on your own terms. Subscribe and join us each week as we dive into practical advice and inspiring stories to fuel your growth journey. This is the Product Growth Lab. Let's get started. So hello, everyone, and welcome. Today is like Juicy Tech Day because today we are going into Shopify updates. If you didn't know, Shopify just did their new launch with 150 plus new features for their summer 2025 update. And honestly, this is the first time that Andrew and I are pretty excited about a good portion of the Shopify updates, right?
Yeah. And they're here. Yeah, they sometimes it's like, oh, this thing will be here eventually. But most of I think everything we're going to talk about today is already available.
Whether you want to take advantage of it just yet or not is debatable, but it's all there. Let's jump right in.
And even though there's 150 different updates, we're going to cover 5. That's the ones that we're like, this are the ones that are probably worth listening to, and you might not want to use all of them. So don't get overwhelmed in the 150 update excitement.
And plus, a lot of that 150 is really for Shopify Plus members and like the higher up tiers as well. And we mostly work with the standard tier of Shopify.
Yeah, and there's always there's a lot of POS updates, which we're not going to cover because we talk about online selling here. If you use Shopify POS, there's some great stuff there. And there's a bunch of developer updates, which are also great, but I don't know what any of them mean, so we can't cover them. There's also, if you look on the page, everything's there apart from one that says update unlocked June 12th. And I really want to know what that is. It's probably going to disappoint me, but you give me that piece of excitement. I need to know.
All right. Let's jump into our top 5 things we're excited about in the Shopify Summer update.
Yeah. Kicking off with number 1 is the new Horizon themes. Yeah. And I know I'm excited about these. These are really awesome. But when we first talked to our clients about them, there was a little bit of panic. And we're here to say, don't worry, and you don't have to change all if you don't want to, but you don't have to change immediately. And quite often when there's big tech updates, it's a good idea to give it a little bit of time to let the dust settle and the bugs be.
Let the people with big
fixed.
teams fight the bugs, not us. Let them settle it out.
So Shopify have been busy working under the hood to keep their themes up to date with all of the new things they want to include, including we're going to try next, these AI generated star blocks. And they needed the new kind of foundation to the theme to be able to make that all work. And if you're on a paid theme, you kind of have to ignore this for now because we don't exactly know what they're going to do and how, if you're going to be able to implement these things and eventually you can't at the moment. But if you are on a Dawn theme, you're probably going to want to update to a Horizon theme. And if you're like, do you have a Dawn theme? If you didn't pay for your theme, it's just from the Shopify shop. It's Dawn or it's a customization of Dawn. They're all secretly the same theme.
Just arranged differently.
It's just the customization applied to them, just color changes and some things like that. So they've introduced 10 new themes, but they're all Horizon and customizations of them. So you still just have the one free theme, but it's added a ton of different stuff. And eventually, Dawn isn't going to get any more updates. It's going to be depreciated, and they might force you over, but they're not doing that for now. So it's probably something you're going to want to do in the future, but because it has this new base and the different elements don't translate over, you do have to build your pages again from scratch. That's kind of why everyone wants to try and panic. But don't need to rush into it. You can do it slowly and kind of wait for things to see how they go. But the really big, awesome thing about this is because it kind of works in a new way, you can place things within things. It's really hard to explain. I don't know why I decided to do this on a podcast where I can't give you any sort of visual adaptation of this.
So Andrew and I come from the world of funnels. If you have any experience with funnels and funnel builders, you know that you have like sections and rows. This is also hard visual, but you can put things. But you could have one section that has like a picture and a headline and stuff stacked on top of each other and moved around in multiple columns all within there. That's really, really difficult to do in Shopify. And if you came from a funnel world, really damn frustrating about Shopify that it's like, why is your builder so old? Even though it's new.
Yeah. And like that's totally gone. All of the different blocks you add into your page are completely updated, completely different. That's why it doesn't automatically translate over. You can have like so many things that are within things that are within things. So if you're like something to think about that, think about when you had the big header on your homepage. Everyone probably has this. And it had you go into it and you could change some text and you could change a button. But they chose where it was, what it was, and
The order it was in.
Now
everything.
you can, yeah. Now you can take all of the other elements, so pictures, buttons, text blocks, and drag those in to the header element. So things within things. If you have like products on your page, you can drag in your own like text box for the name, for swatches, for reviews. And they all exist within the same part of the page. So it's a little bit hard to explain. You might want to go to, I think it's shopify.com/editions/summer 2025, something like that. Google Shopify editions summer 2025.
Yeah, they went big on this time.
Yeah, it's a game, and it's really difficult. It's a driving game. If you go down to the bottom of the page, don't waste your time on that. Fix your shop. But yeah, there's other things in there. So you can now right click, which feels like this really tiny thing, but it's really nice. You can copy sections, you can duplicate them, and you can also copy them. So like say you have a section on your homepage you built. You can click copy, then go into your product page and click paste. So you can have elements that are like on both before you have to make it, customize it and stuff, and then do that all over again. Now you can just copy and paste. So it's like a really nice, really tiny thing. Like in this day and age, I'm telling you that you can now right click. Feels really basic, but you can now do that.
All right, so that's Horizon's theme. We're so excited. Also, though, because it has to be a complete rebuild, depends on how big your site is, how much individual content you have on your site, how customized you are. We are looking at doing this because this is released in June. We want to give it at least a month to get the bugs out, right? Or it was released in May. So June, July, we are headed straight into heavy duty season. So are we looking at like doing this ourselves in January, Andrew? Or are we thinking we're going to probably do it earlier than that?
What I would focus on is if you look at in Shopify, you'll see the themes.
Customize and themes and all that.
But I'll say like Horizon 1.0. Like when you're doing an update, the 1.0 is one to watch out for. And it'll probably have like 1.0.1, 1.0.2. Wait for 1.1 is normally the kind of thing to do. It's not a little like the point ones are like the little bug fixes. The 0.1 is like a big kind of update.
So 1.1 point. We want the middle number to at least have a 1, not a 0.
Yeah, that's kind of the way to write that for. They might already be there. And then for speed of doing it, it's kind of up to yourself. It's how fast can you do it? If you want to use a bunch of these new features, like the whole AI generated block thing we're going to talk about next, is going to be really nice for things like Black Friday. And you might want, like, as the main thing I thought of to build with that is a counter terror thing. Like there's a bunch of that stuff where you might be like, it's worth it to me. I don't have a bunch to do. And the increase in income I can probably make on Black Friday by tailoring my shop like this is probably going to be totally worth it for me. But if you have a ton of content to get through, or you're slightly more scared of the tech, definitely take it as slow as you need to. And the other thing that's really good with Shopify is you can add a new theme, customize it for as long as you want before you hit
publish.
I was going to say deploy, but that's not what it says. Publish. before you hit publish on it and actually make it the live version of your site. So I'm looking on Shopify right now. They're on 1.0.2. So
2 bug
we're still, we
fixes
worked out a
happened
few of the
already.
bugs, but we're not there. So you might want to wait till then.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what I say. It's totally up to you. You can do it wherever you like, and that's kind of our advice there. So we keep talking about it, but better just move on to AI generated star blocks. This is like the really big, really cool, really flashy thing. So you had all these blocks for now. It's like text blocks and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, okay, I want something different. I want something fancy. I want something cool. You can now go in to Shopify and just tell it what you want. And this is exclusive to Horizon themes. And that's probably why you're going to be really tempted to upgrade really quickly. Is you can say, I want a giant bar across the top of the screen that says my sale ends in an hour. I want, like if you saw a product that does a before and after, and you have the little slider thing in the middle, and you like drag it along to see the two images, you can custom build that. Like before, that would be like you'd need a developer to buy some
All the
kind of
paid apps. All the
thing or
paid apps are probably panicking right now.
yeah. The only thing, like it still is like if anything was wrong, you have to edit code. Like there's still, if you're not a developer, it might be a little difficult. So you're still got a little while before you're completely replacing them, because you do kind of, if you don't get it to work, like Shopify, because it's not their code, they won't help you with it. It's a little bit sucky, but it's kind of just how AI works. So if you do build something, test it on desktop, test it on your phone, and just make sure it all looks okay before you set it live. And also back and forth, a little bit like Chat GPT. So if you say, build me a countdown timer, and it does it, and say the text is on top of the numbers and you wanted it to the left and that on the right, like you can go and say, okay, move this here. I want you to change this color. So you can do little back and forth with it to try and fix it if something isn't perfect. But if you want those announcement bars, something on your product page, just there's so many it's always that you need to think, for example. There's one of that things where I'm like, tell us in the Facebook group. If you want me to do, I don't know, like a list or a workshop or maybe like a digital product where I give you a bunch of prompts for things and be like, okay, here are all the things you might possibly want to build. I think that would be really helpful. It's like, I know they always throw these exciting new things at you, and it's like, okay, what do I do with this? I have this problem with like all the AI agents and NAN and Zaps and stuff. I'm like, these sound really cool when someone shows it to me, but I don't know what to automate. I have no ideas what to do with this. So let us know in the Facebook group. That's something you would be interested in. But now you can do all this. You don't need to know code. You don't even have to, because you could do this in ChatGPT before. You'd have to like try and copy and paste it and break the back end of Shopify. But you can do it in here, and it's kind of,
If it doesn't work, you just delete it.
Sandbox, I think is the word. Yeah, it doesn't. It's just a little section you can delete, and it doesn't break your whole shop.
You don't have to worry about going into that liquid code and all of the HTML and be like, oh.
Yeah, because that was it before. If you ever customize your code and did an update, it lost all of the code you customized. That's kind of thing with Shopify, and I think that kind of changes with this update. But don't doing that, especially if you do it in an AI generated square block, that definitely stays there because it's a block and not the actual code of the shop.
All right.
And I think that's all we have to say there. And like these are all like, we're still in the
discovery section of this.
We haven't had we haven't probably played with it. We can't tell you a ton. These are just like the fast.
We can't tell you the pitfalls yet.
Yeah, we can't give you all our client did this and we tried this, and give you all the nice examples we like to. Okay, next one. Sidekick just got smarter. And if you haven't used it yet, it's one of that things that's like hidden there. It's hidden there and you kind of ignore it, but it's actually quite useful. It's Shopify's AI system. If you're on your shop, there's a little it's like a little hairy man, not like hairy, like a fan with hair, and I think he even has like a raccoon mask kind of thing on. It's a really tiny symbol, and you're probably gonna look at it and be like, Andrew, what are you looking at?
It's its official name now. It's Little Hairy Man. Okay.
The little hairy man with the, I think This is be like a
Sasquatch.
robber, a superhero. No, but like they look like it looks like a raccoon with hair.
Your feral assistant.
Someone at Shopify who spent ages designing this is crying somewhere.
They should.
But it's right on top of your screen. Click it, and it pops up down the side of your screen. There's like a little chat assistant, and before it could do a few things, it could like add discount codes to your shop and things. Now it really does a lot, and I'm pretty sure it's because they've AI-ified it. But you can say things. So you can say like, okay, I need a discount code that runs from the 21st to the 22nd for 20% off. And it will do that for you in like a nice kind of chat style instead of you going through things. You can say, something's broken in my shop. How do I fix it? But now you can say things like about the data in your shop. So how are my sales doing year on year? How is my conversion rate? How many people are coming from Facebook? And like ask it to compare things. You can kind of look at all this data without having to go into your analytics and getting a headache because there's 1,000 things in there that don't make any sense. You can do it. And then you can also say, okay, my conversion rate is down 10%. One, why? And two, how do I fix it? And it will give you stuff. And it will reference your shop, and it will also reference the Shopify knowledge base.
Oh, cool.
So you can do things there. You can ask it to, if you use like Shopify's inbuilt marketing stuff, you can ask it to build segments and things for you, I think. You can...
That's nice.
You
I
can
have a
also use it
client
to
who
create
uses
images.
that.
Yeah. You can use it to create images if you want to. Anything it's not as fancy as like the ChatGPT and stuff. You can't make it do project images. But you can say, like, I need a banner for your homepage that's like it's summer. Like you want a nice beach. And you can say, hey, make an image of a nice beach. Well, do that for you. And I don't know a ton about this, but I've seen it listed as a thing you can do. I don't know if it's not there yet. I think it's like rolling out, and I don't know. But you can like screen share your shop and ask it specific things and talk to it. So be like, hey, I have this page with this error message or something. How do I fix it? And actually talk to it. So that like it'll be like having a support person on Zoom.
Oh,
But you're
cool.
using Shopify, and it should be really knowledgeable because it's accessing all of Shopify's own support stuff.
That is really neat.
And there's ways to do that with ChatGPT and with any kind of software.
But Chat just has outdated, like I ask directions and it'll tell me to go to some place that doesn't exist. It's like, well, I don't see that option you're giving me. Most recent one was navigation disappeared. It moved somewhere ridiculous. That made no sense at all. Or I was trying to create you were like, why?
But yeah, Shopify one will be really up to date and know everything. Because everything people like, I know someone who is doing Facebook ads, and it's like if you ever tried to follow someone's Facebook ads tutorial, there is a 98.9% chance that the interface that you're seeing with Shopify ads is not the one they're seeing. It's not the one that you had last week.
It's not the one you had
something
this
is different.
morning. If you refresh,
And if you do the like live share thing or screenshot or do whatever you need to do to get into ChatGPT, it can figure it out for you. So I know they've had success with that. So I think having this option in Shopify will be really useful, and it's probably something we should test
when we switch.
Maybe we'll do a video in the Facebook because like it's not really a podcast thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mess.
Yeah. So let us know if you want that. I feel like I'm gonna have to give you like a to-do list of all things I keep telling you to tell us in the Facebook group. In the show notes for your to-do list. Yeah, that's everything else there. Number 4, the new campaign tracking. This is one of those things that I got super excited by, and I'm always like, I don't know if anyone else is going to care about this as much as I do. But if you're into stats and analytics and all that, like, I was going to say fun stuff, but that might not be what people normally call it.
But this is the data that makes you money right here. Data that makes you money or loses you money, and you want to know it.
But you can now track that all in a specific campaign. So say Black Friday is the really obvious example, and I'm going to use it because why not? You can say, okay, I'm going to set up my Black Friday campaign in Shopify as a campaign. Then you can have one specific place for all your tracking of all of the things you do to promote your Black Friday. Every time you share a link in an email, you can generate a specific link so that all of the people who click that link are tracked in your campaign. Every time you share a link on Facebook, you can get a specific link that tracks it to that campaign. Like everywhere you're sharing things, and all of that tracking goes in that one place. So it also lets you go, okay, Shopify, all of it shows that your market worked, and any sales that came in that day or weekend from somewhere else are tracked separately. So you know, okay, my actual campaign efforts generated 10% of that, and 90% came from Google. You can say, okay, maybe my campaigns aren't so good. So it's like a really nice way to track everything. You can have, it also generates QR codes. Like, I haven't had a chance to try this out yet, but I think that is going to be a really nice thing going forward. If you're doing like some real campaign tracking, sales kind of stuff, we might do. I ain't start saying we're going to do things.
And then not writing them down
We
so we
might
don't
do-
remember what we're going to do.
No. We had a chance to ask that. But like a little project where we get everyone, I don't know, where would we do this? Maybe we won't do it for our clients. But we like we all do a sale on a specific date, and we all have like the emails and the marketing plan stuff, and it's all chat to our campaigns, and we kind of do a little sale test thing.
Because like to me, the biggest way to look at this is like, so you ran that sale campaign and you put a post out on Facebook. You put posts on Facebook. I'm going to say that because it's an easy one to put links in. You do posts on Facebook every single day of that campaign, maybe twice a day even. And then your campaign tracking comes in and says, great, you made a lot of sales from Facebook. You don't know which things that you posted really worked and which ones didn't. Which ones got them to click, which ones got them to buy. Those are two very different stats right there. But now with campaign tracking, and if you're able to put it within one sales event, so say like sales event that you've created that campaign, and now you have all those different links. So if each of those Facebook posts that you did, say it was 4 days, you had 4 posts, if each of them had that slightly different link in there that the campaign gave you, you'll know which one actually led to sales, not just clicks, sales. Because that could be very different information. And once you know that, you're like, okay, what did I do on that style post that made it work? And can I replicate it for my next sale?
Yeah. And I think for doing, because I always talk about testing, one thing I like to test is like different types of sales. Like if I do bonuses, I don't do bonuses. If I do a percentage versus an actual amount, or if I do the whole shop versus a collection stuff. And I can have all those sales. Instead of me trying to track dates and figure this all out, I can go, I track them all, like here's the Labor Day sale. Here's, as if I've ever done one of those in Scotland. Here's the Labor Day sale. Here's the Black Friday sale. Like, Black Friday's kind of an outlier. Don't
Halloween
use that
sale.
to compare anything else to. Yeah, Halloween sale, Mother's Day sale, like all those things.
Mother's Day is
and I
coming
can
up.
track, go into each one and say which of these worked the best. And it's so much easier to track that if it's in a campaign itself. You could even, because you can name your campaign at once, you could call it like Father's Day and then in brackets, 20% off whole store. Mother's Day, 10% off
Rose's collection.
Mother's Day items. And that really helps you track things easily.
All right. So based on how we're talking, like that's the one we're actually the most excited about because we're data nerds. And if you want to be successful, you either need to be a data nerd or you need to hire a data nerd.
Mm-hmm. And if you are that kind of nerd and you want to try things out, talk to us in the Facebook. And like I keep on Facebook. We don't make enough use of it. Actually, no. I was gonna say this is gonna be on time. But I posted a couple of questions in there the past couple of weeks. I'm going out to them. But yeah, come in there and ask us stuff. It's where we want to talk about. Okay, next is the AI-powered knowledge base app. This one is like hidden in like a section within a section on the page. But it's one of those ones where I'm like, this is one of those secret things that if you're like up on the what's coming up and the AI stuff is actually going to be something huge for the future. So you need to go in and add this. It's not automatically in your shop. You need to go into the Shopify App Store and add the Shopify Knowledge Base app. And it lets you add FAQs into your shop, which, like, FAQs, I'm sure I have that already. The way AI works, because people ask questions, is when it's searching for data from your site, it looks for answers to questions. So having your site set up where those FAQs are there, and ChatGPT can get those answers really easily, makes it far easier to show up in those results. And it doesn't just help, it still helps on Google, especially Google with its new AI mode and stuff. And if you're on Google and you have, like, it's a nightmare to get to results these days. You have the AI overview at the top that is looking for those kind of question things. And then you have that, like, little drop downs where it's like, people ask this, and it's like, and if you Googled us, like, who are Andrew and Melissa? It always has really random questions. It was like, what's Melissa's favorite food? When did
blueberry puff?
Like, it'll always be kind of normal, and then they'll kind of start to get more unhinged as you go down.
Fantastic SEO resource, those things. Well, think about it with the knowledge base.
Yeah, they're all questions, and it's grabbing the snippets. They're called snippets from paragraphs on your site. And if your site is set up with an thing written like an answer, you are going to show up there. This is kind of the way AI is going. It's not SEO. It's like
AEO. Or something like that, yeah.
EIEIO.
Pretty much.
It's like agentic engine
optimization,
yeah. Like that. It's got that. Yeah. But it's a slight change. And, like, we'll see how this goes. No one's an expert in it yet. This might all be a load of crap I'm talking. But, like, from what I understand, what I looked at, this is kind of how things are. And obviously, Shopify, I think, the same, because they've developed a whole app for it. And I think they'll continue to build it. Like, it's a fairly basic kind of app. I think it will continue to grow. Like, Shopify does that. If you look at the Collabs app, the version 1 of it, when I first heard of it, was pretty cool. Now it does a million things.
To go back in and check.
Yeah. Episode idea. Shopify Collabs.
Yes. I'll kick my button.
It gives you, like, it will start to pull out some FAQ things it thinks people will have from the data that's already in your shop. It will give you suggestions. I don't know how much of this works yet, but it will also, I don't even know how it's doing this, but it does have a section for it, so it must do something. It will find what people are asking about your shop. I don't know where it's getting the data from. I don't know if it's from ChatGPT, because I know they have some stuff going on in the background. I don't know if it's from Google or what, but it will start to populate those and get you to answer them. And I know one of the things that is coming is, if people ask ChatGPT, it already it does do some search stuff where it shows product listings, but you'll be able to sync your product catalog to ChatGPT in the future. I know it's actively being worked on just now. And we'll see how that goes. They'll probably end up adding ads, and
they'll probably end up with ChatGPT. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But if what Andrew said,
I just say it's a product feed, which, if you don't know what those are, you probably already have some. You probably have one in your shop that's going to Google and one that's going to Pinterest. Those take product feeds already.
So I was going to say, if what Andrew said with snippets and all of that, you're like, oh my God, this is above me. Think of it right here with the AI-powered knowledge base app as a direct pipeline of information from your shop speeding straight into the AIs. To be like that, and again, very streamlined process.
Yeah. Again, if you need any help with that, I'm like horrible on the podcast, because I'm like, I have so much ideas for, like, we could turn this into a course, we could do a workshop, we could do a live thing. You need help with any of this, let us know, and I'll probably build it for you.
Andrew just likes building.
ChatGPT is saying, Andrew, stop building stuff and maybe start selling some of that. And I'm like, that doesn't sound good.
You need a sales rep, Andrew.
Anyway, sometimes I'm like, give me some advice, and then just roast me instead. I'm like, I didn't ask for this.
All right, so those were our 5 things that we are so excited about in the new summer 2025 Shopify update.
Yeah, and there's a whole bunch more. I'm like, I'm going to start to 5, but there's definitely a whole lot of things to talk about. And I'm sure as they kind of come to the forefront and people are using them, we'll probably talk about them more over time. But this is one of the one where I'm like, there's really a bunch of exciting stuff because they do these updates every few months, and sometimes and sometimes it's like this thing's going soon. There's some of the stuff I'm like, I don't think it's there yet. That they announced several updates ago, like
Maybe no one was excited about it, so they
one,
didn't do it.
yeah. I can't remember. There's one of the updates that they announced in the last one and then ignored, and then like announced it in this one again. Like, hey, here's this new feature that's ready. It's like, yeah, but
What is it?
it's supposed to be a feature 6 months ago.
We're not excited about that anymore. All right.
So, but I feel like there's a bunch of useful stuff and useful for, I hate saying smaller shops that were small, but like the people on the normal plan who don't have a giant team and developers and are selling in 17 countries and all this Shopify Plus stuff that they like to add. They've genuinely added stuff for everyone. Because the last update, I was like, oh my God, this stuff looks really exciting. I was like, you need Shopify Plus plan, you need Shopify Plus plan. And it's like, okay, none of this is really useful to the average person. Because Shopify Plus starts at, it's like $2,300 a month. I'm like, okay, you need to be
expensive?
selling.
I didn't think it was that expensive.
Yeah, because what is it? I always get very confused in the Shopify naming different plans. But what is there? Shopify? Yeah, Shopify. If you go into your own Shopify backend and look at the plans, it'll show you Shopify Basic, the Medium plan, which is now just called Shopify. It used to have a name, it's still Shopify, and Shopify Advanced. Those are like reasonable prices. They go up to a few hundred. Then you have to like apply for and have a whole person on Shopify work on your shop and do like it totally changes how your shop works. Is the Shopify Plus.
Gotcha.
And they allow it's a whole bunch of really cool stuff you can do in there. But
you gotta be sales to make it worth it.
You need to be making like 15, 20 grand a month probably for it to be worth it.
Less than I thought.
I don't know, like how much, like as a percentage of your total income, how much would you want your shop to go to? I know, that's up to you. That's not, yeah. Okay, so you don't need to upgrade Plus. You don't need a team, but you can start using some of these features.
And all of these features start with switching to a Horizon theme, correct? Or can we use any of them with the standard Shopify?
The AI store blocks is the only thing we need the Horizon themes.
Okay.
The rest of the stuff, you're totally fine with.
So Sidekicks is available to us for a knowledge base app, available to us right now.
Yeah. They're all available. Sidekick has been available for a while as well. So like not all of it is new and you should be able to play with it in your old shop anyway. But if you have a Dawn theme you're not ready to upgrade, or you have a paid theme that already exists, you can use all of these things because you're probably not in a huge rush to change themes. But I think there's a few pissed off theme developers because they're like, how do you make our themes work with this new stuff? And I don't think Shopify has given them a ton of info about that. So that's a kind of wait and see how it goes.
Remember, our recommendation, do not switch to a Horizon theme until it says 01.0. You need a 1 in that middle number.
Yeah. But what was if you're listening to us as someone who's about to start a shop, start with a Horizon theme. I would say that.
True.
Yeah.
Because you just have to rebuild some.
So pick one of these updates, start implementing it, and see how it goes. And let us know in the Facebook group. I don't know anything to list of things to ask in the Facebook group.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning into the Product Growth Lab podcast. We hope you were excited that you found today's episode insightful and inspiring. I'm also going to say for all the things that you can play with right now, go ahead. If you're not sure what to do for your flash sale to get that going, we have the guide all set up for you. You can go to theproductgrowthlab.com/flash to get our flash sale in a snap guide. They'll walk you through how to have one up and running in time for this weekend so you can start gathering that data and playing with campaigns. It's going to be so much fun. Beyond that, if you enjoyed the show today, leave a review. It helps us reach more creative entrepreneurs just like you. Stay connected and keep experimenting. Follow us on your favorite podcast platform, and don't forget to join our community, that Facebook group, for more resources, tips, and support. Until next time, keep growing and creating. This is the Product Growth Lab signing off.